Everyone checking in on the cryptocurrency space. I'm exhausted. It's been a wild week in the stock world. Really looking forward to some off time this weekend. Crypto never sleeps. So we're looking for a bounce in the cryptocurrency space. The 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, lower high right under exponential resistance, lower low with no bear follow through. Anything under 89.73 is just a 4-hour lower high. And we know we have to see a trend change on the 4-hour time frame for any meaningful bounce on the daily. When we do get that bounce, we're just going to zoom out and look for a daily lower high to be set. So what you are doing is all depending on your time frame and game plan. You can absolutely be shorting 4-hour lower highs. You can be a patient bear waiting for a daily lower high to short. I personally am a bull looking at the long-term time frames. If this is our monthly lower high being set at 10,500, I estimated somewhere in the low 10,000s for our monthly lower high a couple months ago, so shaping up nicely. And we're going to be looking for a monthly higher low compared to 64.30 to form. So I am going to look to scale in slowly and smallly into that position. I have one position right now. After a little bit of maneuvering, its break even is about 8,700. Very small position. I am then going to add to it low 8,000s. I'll add another position. Upper 7,000s. I'll add another. Mid 7,000s. I'll add another. Low 7,000s. I'll add another. And then I will put my stop loss below 64.30. If I am wrong, I will stop out. And it'll be a decent loss. Maybe I'll get back my profit on 2020 so far, which is fine. And if that happens, we are then in a monthly downtrend. And the crypto bulls need to be a bit concerned. If, however, we form a monthly high or low and see a bull break into the halving, then I will have great entries and the reward will be much more than the potential risk. My potential risk, let's just say roughly speaking, if I averaged in and my average was 7,700 and I stop out if 6,400 breaks, I'm risking maybe 20%. And the reward is a bull break of 13,800, which is a 100% move, roughly 90. So that is my game plan. Because of fees, I looked at my fees number. If I told you how much I've spent in fees on cryptocurrency in the last 2.5 years, your jaw would drop, as mine did. In the end, was it worth it? Yes. The profit number and the gains versus had I held, even including taxes, it was worth it. But I was robbed, and the crypto or the Bitcoin, the Coinbase executives are loving me as a customer. So we'll see if we can change the 4-hour trend in the near term. If we see another leg down, 12-hour RSI is still extended. We had a 4-hour bear flag or a 12-hour bear flag that confirmed with no follow through. It actually is cooling off a little bit. So bulls want to change this 4-hour trend, the sooner the better, because all RSI levels are cooling off. And if we do see another leg down, we'll then be looking for daily oversold. Generally speaking, both stocks and crypto, if we're looking for a weekly high or low, daily oversold conditions are a good time to be doing it. Bitcoin dominance chart, multiple inside bars. If it breaks bearish, we look for a daily high or low compared to 63.61. If it breaks bullish, we're looking at the top 66.39. Ethereum, daily inside bar, trying to get its bounce going. Difference between it and Bitcoin, high or low, didn't drop to a lower low here, so it's a tightening 4-hour range. Anything under 239 is a 4-hour lower high. Monthly equilibrium is a beauty shaping up. Still not confident that our monthly lower high is set, but it is shaping up that way. And on any bounce, when we change the 4-hour trend, we're just going to look for a daily lower high to form. ETH BTC lost the daily uptrend with no bear follow through, which means zoom out, and it's a healthy weekly consolidation currently ongoing. It's a potential bull flag on the weekly time frame at this point. Bears would have to see a clear break under the low of 0257, and I would need to see a break of 2611 if we're going to see the weekly bull flag negated. Litecoin also dropped to a lower low, no real bear follow through. 4-hour lower high is our guide. If we cannot break 65.87, just a 4-hour lower high. Bears keep control with exponential resistance as our guide. XRP, multiple inside bars. It did not drop to a lower low. So we can distinguish individual names who dropped to a lower low, who did not. So XRP and ETH right now tightening ranges, still favoring the bears as we're a ways off of resistance. We're not close to getting over and changing that trend at this point. BNB dropped to a lower low, 4-hour downtrend easily intact at this point, and that last lower high formed at, come on, TradingView. The end of the day, when the stocks start firing off with high volume, my laptop kicks into gear. You can hear the fan. So BNB trying to bounce 4-hour high or low. Anything under 1976 is a 4-hour lower high. Everybody's doing the same thing. BCH. Daily inside bar. So we didn't drop to a lower low on the 4-hour time frame, and we're just looking for a 4-hour lower high. Looking the same as everybody else. BSV, USD. Still holding a higher low, but again, nowhere near breaking 238.39. Exponential resistance remains. Let's see our strongest altcoins that we've been following. Link. Daily time frame bounce is already underway. Yes, we're still looking for a lower high compared to 454, but it is easily the strongest bounce out of anybody we looked at. 4-hour trend changed 2 days ago. Right now it's a 4-hour tightening range. 377, most important support. If 377 breaks, we're going to look for that to mark our daily lower high being set. So the 4-hour uptrend is important, but the bulls are creating some nice space to try and form a daily higher low once we do lose the 4-hour uptrend. And XTZ, not nearly as strong a bounce. So Link is our lead bull, no doubt about it. $2.99, $3 we'll just call it, is a double top on XTZ, and the bulls are trying to see this range continue to tighten up. So overall, big picture, if you are bearish, you're either looking for an aggressive 4-hour lower high, you're riding your position with a clear stop level, or you're waiting for a daily lower high. If you are bullish, you have to either have a longer term game plan in play or patiently wait for some trend changes to show a stop to the bearish momentum. That's where we stand as we head into this coming weekend. Nice to see the extreme market fear dumping gold, dumping the S&P 500 is not dumping cryptocurrency. Yes, it's been a big bearish week, but the last 2 days have been peak fear in the markets. And look at gold. Gold was on fire, holding up really well, and it just dumped today. Big red day on gold. When fear is peaked out, like 2008, there are no safe havens anywhere, and those perpetuating the safe haven narrative on Bitcoin really need to hope to start seeing some influx, because right now would be the time that we would be expecting, 5% green days in the crypto space, and we're not seeing it. We're not seeing funds leave the market and go into crypto. So we'll keep a tab on things. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Do good things. So this is a greenhouse my buddy helped put up. Nice little 20-footer overlooking the second little pond. And I'll start some stuff in here. And eventually I'll move these tables out and just grow tomatoes in pots. I always have trouble with tomatoes in North Carolina due to blight, which is a fungus that splashes up on the leaves from the soil. So when they're in pots, they're elevated above the soil and much more protected. I did the pots last year on the deck, and they turned out really well. So I think I'll stick 8 in here in big pots, and I can trellis them from these wires up here, and I'll put peppers in little pots in front of them. And the tomatoes and nightshades like it nice and hot. We've got this little thermometer that tracks to my phone and gives me all these charts as far as fluctuations of temperature and relative humidity. So looking forward to playing around with this space. Probably grow some greens in here in the winter as well. Did a little bit of weeding. The onions and garlic, still a little bit more to go, but you can see all the elephant garlic poking up and the smaller garlic as well. It's spring. Looking forward to plugging all these holes on the edges of these beds. I can put a whole bunch of pollinator flowers here, or even just vegetables. My goal is to have as many living things on the property as possible, so I'm going to grow twice as much as I need of everything and just throw random tomato plants around and other things for the animals to enjoy as long as they leave my half alone.